regarding that.
Sylvia's mother said...
What is that?
You don't know that one?
No, I don't
Somebody's going to know that. I think, yeah. Somebody's going to say it.
Never even heard that.
Yeah, I think it's on the flip side of our
flip
song.
side? Flip side of what? The iPod?
No, the B-side of our song. Big rock singers.
Oh,
Dr.
okay.
Hook.
Yeah, but no one knows what that means. Because
listeners knew. They were
what
all...
What a 45 is? A 45 record?
Yeah, what do you think? Everybody on here's 12? No.
No, they're all 26 like you, right?
Yeah, well, I know my history.
Anyways, back to the topic. So if we're physical and we're tapping into the spiritual, what makes us think that we're humanly capable of doing this? Are you going to keep singing? What are you singing now? Let's get physical? Olivia Newton-John?
Physical, yeah.
Oh, my gosh. So we have to be getting our information from a supernatural source because we're spiritual, or we're physical tapping into the spiritual. So we can't, it's like oil and water. You can't do that. But in Nostradamus' case, he was well aware that the source of his abilities were dark. And in his personal notes, you can see that. So he just probably didn't figure out that he couldn't get free of it. Because in the Nostradamus Encyclopedia, which is well known to be the accepted reference guide to his work, it shows that in his writing, he begs his son never to dabble in divination practices. Because he states that they desiccate the body, disturb the mind, and send the soul to hell. So he was aware of what he was doing was wrong and dark, like the dark forces were talking to him, but he didn't know a way out. He just thought, oh, this is my fate.
Well, he probably opened up a door. The door was opened, and now he didn't have the knowledge or the ability to shut it, so he just worked with what he had.
Yeah, and because we don't know a lot about his past, we don't know if he opened a door.
I met him.
No, you didn't. We don't know. Then that would make you so not 26. That would make you like 1,026,000 or something. So, yeah, it would. I know my math. But if we don't know what he did. So if he opened a door or if maybe someone in his family had it, I don't know. Like this gift and it fell onto him. So we don't really know how this came about. But he even burned some of his ancient books and claimed that when he burnt the ashes and the smoke had an unnatural glow to them. So that was interesting. But he was haunted by dark dreams, and he said he heard voices which put him in fear.
Well, and this is going back way back when I told you I watched that show with Leonard Nimoy or whatever, but that he was borderline going nuts.
Nuts, yeah.
Because of all that he heard and tried to write and tried to keep up with, and so much going on in his head that it was driving him nuts.
Well, I find that in the people that we've counseled and talked to and all the research we've done, that a lot of people who can't get a grip on these psychic abilities or spiritual abilities, whatever you want to call them, they do. They turn to alcohol, they turn to drugs, they turn to things.
That's overwhelming.
Yeah, because they don't know how to handle it. They don't know, like when I was little, I didn't know what to do. So I actually just turned to the occult to learn more, and that was my outlet. So like where some people would drink and stuff, I would just do more stuff. Just that was all I could do. But you'll find that a lot of people are, going crazy because they don't, I would go to the mall and I've told you before.
I remember that.
I could walk through a mall and I would know that this guy's cheating on his wife, and I would know that this girl's skipping out of school, and I would just know things, and it was like I hated it. I couldn't go anywhere. So it becomes a burden, for people who really have it, because, there's a lot of people that don't. So.
Well, I have it.
You have it?
Yeah.
You have what? Psychic abilities?
Oh, yeah. Lots of them.
Now, is that just sort of like confined to Canada when you're in Canada? Because you've never mentioned this before. Ever. And we've never
I'm getting something right now.
You're going to get something. It's going to be later, though, I'll tell you that.
I'm getting a letter. I'm getting a letter. Your name starts with a letter.
Yes. Oh, my gosh.
Yes.
You are psychic.
I'm going to...
You have asthma.
H.
Wow.
Yes, see? I'm
All
not playing
that.
with you, man.
I thought you were having a gallbladder attack.
Your name's got some vowels in it, too, I bet.
We're going to have to talk about this hidden talent that you have.
I know. That's enough. I'm spent.
Yeah. I'm spent just listening to you. Okay, well, another famous psychic besides Nostradamus and you, Scott, is the Oracle of Delphi, or the Pythia.
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 Yeah,
Well, that was the high priestess at the Temple of Apollo. It was like in 1400
Apollo
BC.
Creed.
No, not Apollo Creed, not Rocky.
Oh, the planet.
No, the supposed god
No
Apollo.
Planet Apollo.
Well, I know. You said it, not me.
You're like, no, it's no planet Apollo.
Well, I know there's no planet Apollo. That's why I said no. Gosh, man. Well, anyways, the Oracle of Delphi, you hear about her a lot. It's mentioned by many famous writers like Homer. I like to say Socrates, it's Socrates, but in Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, they kept calling him Socrates.
Socrates.
Socrates. And Aristotle. So, I mean, but she's mentioned everywhere. But what's interesting is there were a lot of high priestesses there. So when they talk about the Oracle of Delphi, that doesn't necessarily mean one particular chick. So
Many,
yeah.
Many chicks.
Oh, yeah. But,
So like chiclets.
what?
Chiclets. That's many chicks together.
Oh,
Chiclets.
Lord. But we want to know, was this supernatural? Because many of those caves from the rocks came gastric vapors, and they were having hallucinations when they would prophesy. And people even talked about them convulsing, going in trances,
yes.
frenzied talk.
No,
You sound like the Catholic Church.
What? No, I don't.
Yeah, you do. That's what they do at the Catholic Church.
No.
They walk with those things that do the incense, and then, yeah.
No.
Yeah, they do. That has
Well,
nothing...
they do, but that's not what I'm doing.
What are you doing?
I'm in a trance!
People don't do that when they're in a trance. You've obviously never been in a trance. How do you know if you're in a trance?
I'm
How do you
very
know what you're-
translucent.
Okay, so... But here's the thing is, I think a lot of those ladies wanted that position because it was a position that they were free of taxes. They got a salary. They own their own property. They got housing.
A lot of benefits.
Yeah, they attended public events, and people are like, oh, because that was so long ago, people don't realize that, they were a very social group over there. So, and they even sometimes got gold crowns if they did really, really well. So they could have faked it too, just to have that position.
It's just like now. People fake abilities to gain fame, money, power.
Like phone psychics.
That was.
Yeah, readers at like those corner shops.
I never had a chance to ever call a phone psychic. Knowing I was going to do all this stuff now.
Well, you met me.
I know.
You didn't need to. You got it for free.
I know I did. But, it would have been neat knowing if I was going to be doing this sort of stuff now, all them years ago when it was all popular.
Yeah.
To call them and I'd have been able to have all these stories to tell. Now I don't have any.
Well, that's good, though, because you also have more money, because it was like
I don't have any more money. I married you.
It was $3.99 a minute. What's what money's for? To spend it. You're not supposed to make it and just, put it in the bank and never touch it. You're supposed to spend it.
You're very good at that part of it.
Yeah, that's why I'm so happy. I'm a happy person. So, anyways, with those phone psychics, you also got the corner shop readers, the ones that, they have the little stores with the neon lights, psychic, those chicks.
Oh, yeah. We had one on Main Street.
Yeah.
Remember that?
She's still there, actually.
She didn't move? I thought she was going to relocate.
Nope, she's still there. Mediums with their own TV shows. And then you've also got witchcraft schools. So where they talk about that.
They actually, you can get a degree in it. Down in Illinois.
Oh, there's actually a lot of places.
Or over in Illinois. Or around Illinois.
Yeah. I don't even know if they still have that, but I'm assuming they still do.
Illinois
with an S. There's a lot of different terms and groups and kinds. So a psychic used to be where someone would get something in their own mind and be able to tell you. But now it sort of goes, instead of just someone with ESP or what they call a seer or clairvoyant, where they just have unknown knowledge within, it's not quite the same, but they still call it a psychic, which is a medium. And a medium contacts the dead for information. It's not that she gets it, but I guess...
If you're contacting the dead for information, wouldn't that be old information?
The dead tells us. That's the thing. People don't really stop to think. They're contacting the dead. So let's say I'm this medium and I contact your Aunt Betty, okay? And I know you don't have an Aunt Betty. See how bad I am? I'm terrible at being a psychic. But let's say you did have an Aunt Betty and she died. And I'm like, oh, Aunt Betty, and Scott wants to know if he's going to get this job. And Aunt Betty says, yes, he will. How does she know? She's dead. She's not psychic.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
She's a deadheady Betty.
So people don't get it.
Yeah.
I don't know where they think they're getting this information from.
Betty did.
But anyways, so then you've got someone who's a sensitive. So someone who feels and reacts to spiritual forces. Or an empath, one who senses emotion and mental state of another. And then you've got the spiritual
I
counselor.
think that could be a real draw sometimes, though. A real drag, that empath part.
Oh, yeah.
Start feeling what other people are feeling, because these are always going to be extremely strong emotions. They're not going to be just little ones, right?
Oh, yeah.
Somebody who's really sad, so all of a sudden you get to feel this. Well, that kind of sucks.
Well, and see, I had all these issues. You know, I'd walk past...
Yeah, I know. You've had some issues, man.
I'd walk past somebody. I could feel their sadness. Gosh. Well, then the newest craze now would be a spiritual counselor. You know, and spiritual counselor used to be like a priest or a nun or somebody. But now it's more like, I want to say, how do I put it? A safety net for a fake psychic. Like, they would be like, I'm a spiritual counselor, and I might not be right, but let me just tell you what I think I'm getting. And so they're counseling you spiritually, and you're paying for it. You know? So
I
what?
could make some money doing that.
Oh, a lot of people could. It's phony baloney.
Is anybody out there that really wants a reading from me? Because as of a few seconds ago, I am a spiritual counselor.
Oh, jeez. Well, there's psychic abilities and practices in divination and spiritism. And all that was looked down upon up until around, like, the 90s when the New Age movement came in. Right?
Yes, like
So-
Miss Cleo.
Miss Cleo, Call Me Now.
Yes, call me now.
She was nuts.
Miss Cleo, call me now.
See, you even remember that. That's
I do.
the thing.
It's very popular in the 90s.
Yeah, the infomercial.
Very popular.
Now, before her, though, came Dionne Warwick, who's, you know, like, would she sing that Friends song? What's that?
Yeah, Friends.
I can't think of it.
I know this song.
Yeah, and it was funny because it's Psychic Friends Network, so she was the perfect spokesperson.
Well, she got a little older and didn't have any way to make money anymore, so she thought, hey, I got an idea.
Because that was in 91, and they presented it like this whole infomercial like a talk show. And talk shows were really popular in the 90s, right? So they had a lot of soap stars on as guests. And then, a lot of people don't know this, but when that sort of died down, because they were... Well, then Miss Cleo came in, like, in the later 90s. And she was actually an actress. A lot of people don't know she was actually an actress before. She was Miss Cleo the Psychic. And
Miss Cleo!
But she said she was from Jamaica. She was from, like, the Bronx or something. And,
the whole accent was fake?
oh, yeah. No, she wasn't. I think the only thing that was real was probably that do-rag she got at the dollar store on her head. That was, like, the only thing. And calling me now, Miss Cleo knows all. And it's like, you didn't even talk to Miss Cleo. You talked to a bunch of chicks who have a fake accent, and they all thought she was Miss Cleo. Well, they both, the Psychic Friends Network and Miss Cleo, they were accused of fraud because they had tons of hidden phone charges back then.
Oh, yeah.
And finally it got to the point where people were complaining, and they both filed suits against them, and they just went down. But then later, I think I want to say like 2001, 2, 3, around there, Vivica A. Fox, who you don't know who she is, but she's a beautiful actress. But she played the wife of Will Smith in Independence Day. Will Smith. But she took over Dionne Warwick's position. They sort of restarted it again, and she was the psychic spokesperson. But then they were like, people started calling her out for it because it was like, hey, this is a bad thing. And now she denies. She's like, oh, I never gave them permission. She did the commercials. She like did the show. So I don't know what she's talking about not. A lot of people don't know this stuff. So there's a lot of fraud and TV and all that junk.
You know, it's everything. It's always driven by money and fame. It always is.
But
no matter what it is.
If anybody wants a good laugh and they know what we're talking about, Saturday Night Live did the funniest Psychic Friends Network parody. And it's the Psychic Friends Network with Christopher Walken. Now, Christopher Walken doesn't do it, but the person on Saturday Night Live plays Christopher Walken. And he brings on like all these weird guests, and it's so funny. So if you ever want to look up that parody on this, it's really, oh my gosh. But
it's important information to know that SNL has got some information.
It's important. Now, also, a little fun fact. Angelina Jolie, Denise Richards, they use psychics. Both of them trying to contact their moms or something, or I don't know. George Clooney allegedly hired one psychic to communicate with his dead potbelly pig.
I wonder how that worked.
Yeah, I'm not really sure because pigs don't talk.
Yeah.
So that was crazy. Hilary Duff,
like
Cameron Diaz,
deal.
Sarah. Oh gosh, so many Hollywood people deal with psychics. So, you know. But what is phony and what's fake? So, because we know that there's...
Let's discuss.